All right, what is up, everybody? It is your boy Drift. I am back with Shinobi. We are here for the next episode of the Overnights podcast. Make sure you guys go ahead and like, comment, subscribe on this episode. Thank you guys for checking out the last few episodes. They're doing very well. We're gonna go ahead and hop into a new topic that was a last minute slot change from the episode that we have planned. My boy Shinobi came up with an episode, so I'm gonna let him explain the episode we're doing and what we're covering. And I'm also gonna allow him to do his intro real quick, and then we'll go ahead and hop right into it.
What's up, y'all? Shinobi, radixan. I do YouTube, sometimes dabble in the music. But yeah, this one came out of nowhere just because, like, I didn't know that there was going to be another gen announced. And then everywhere just, it was all out war with the starters. But we'll get to those in a second. What are your thoughts on the new gen? Are we excited about it? Like, what do we want to see in it? What's going on?
I seen I watched like the reveal thing for like the actual like game that came out, the Wind and Waves thing, and then they showed like
Yeah.
the trailer from. They look kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to say bad, but like they're not exciting to me. Um, but I don't know. I want to see their whole evolution line before I just like completely be like, oh, I don't like them as much. But from the three we've seen so far, they kind of look like mixtures of like the other ones, like the brow thing or whatever looks, or brow, whatever that green one is called. I don't know the names, but I think that one looks like kind of like a
Oh,
just
like Rowlet?
yeah, like Rowlet. And then
Yeah.
the gecko thing kind of just reminds me of like an alternate version of the Inteleon one that we got from Scarlet and Violet. I think it's Scarlet and Violet was those games, or Sword and Shield, one of those two. I forget the gen.
Sword and Shield, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are Gen 8, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, yeah, Gen 8 because it's Score Bunny with them. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought that that one was like a weirder version of that one. But although it is a weirder version of the Inteleon like line, I do still think that one was the best of the three. If I had to pick between
Yep,
the
I
Aqua Gecko
agree.
thing was the best one so far. But like I said, I don't fully hate the starters. I don't not dislike them. I just think they kind of get like not as exciting. I feel like it's like one of those things where it's not nostalgia, but it's like it's kind of like Marvel at this point. Like the starters from when we grew up from like gens like 1 to like 7, which is all bangers, kind of, and then now it's like it's hard to come out with always bangers now that there's 10 of them. Like not everyone is going to be a banger. That's kind of how you have to look at it, in my opinion.
I feel you. I'm the opposite. I hate them. I don't like them. The gecko thing, I kind of like it a little bit, but other than that, they're not for me. The grass type is just like a bootleg grass type Torchic. The dog thing looks like Pyro or Pyroar, and then
Yeah.
I just I don't know. But I agree. I feel like it really just depends on the full evolution line and like what they end up being.
Yeah,
I'm
that's how I was going off
probably
of it.
yeah, I'm probably gonna go with the gecko thing also. That's even if I get the game because I didn't even get what was the last one? ZA or AZ, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It seemed interesting. I just never got around to picking it up and actually playing it. I am excited though, because I mean, it was just a trailer, and I'm taking anything that Pokemon be dropping with the games with like half of a grain of salt. So, that being said, I would like if we can actually go like into the water and like dive into the water like it was in the trailer, because I don't think they've done that since Gen 3, where you can actually like dive and encounter Pokemon underneath the water. I might be tripping because I haven't played like every single gen, but that's the last one that I remember doing that. So then, alternatively, because the other one's called Winds, I would assume that there's gonna be some kind of like new mechanic or like maybe like special spawns or whatever for like flying up and stuff. So that'd be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Now that you brought up the game, though, I do want to talk about your opinion before we get into your more stuff. I actually thought of this in the moment too. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
announced. I don't know if you watched like the 30-year video thing that they put together where they showed like the trailers for all the projects they have like coming out and or like remakes kind of because there's a lot of them now all of a sudden.
Uh,
And it's crazy to think about when you think about Wind and Waves. The release date for that is summer of 2027. That means we're gonna have ZA for 2 years pretty much because ZA came out in the middle of I think last year. Like I think it came out like October, September-ish of last year already. So we're already
Yeah.
like 6, 7 months into ZA, and we already have the first DLC. And you know, like most Pokemon games, like you get two DLCs, you get a first half, a second half, and it's usually it
Yeah.
totals you around like 300 in-game mons, and then usually the second half of the DLC allows you to open up home, so you can bring in all the mons, like or certain mons can become available. Because the way they do it
Right.
is
Right.
like 100 ones in the game, and then like they allow like 50 of them to be ported from home. So we're pretty much getting ZA with no announced like middle ground game before Wind and Waves. And
Yeah.
there's like a lot of controversy behind it because besides the new champion app that's coming out, which is like the competitive new PvP thing, like straight PvP, no IV training thingy, that game. Besides that title,
Okay.
we're only getting like remakes, like Fire and Red on the Switch. Um, they brought back what was the other one they brought back? It's that game with the it has like Lugia on the cover, but he's like darkened. It's an N64 game.
Yeah. Galax
Uh,
D.
yeah, they bring that one back, yeah,
Yeah.
and then that's really all they showed, and some stuff for Pokemon Go, and that's really all we got, really. And then the Wind and Wave trailer, and then everyone was like all hyped about it, and then they seen fucking summer of 2027 or 2027, and everyone was like, bro, like, what are we supposed to do to pass time? Like, I'm thinking they thought more people were gonna be excited for Leaf Green and Fire Red, but it's like, why would you spend probably $60 to get it on your Switch when that's like a game that's the easiest emulated game possible, like to your
Yeah,
mobile
and I still have
device?
like my OG copies,
Yeah,
and
or
for Galax D. I mean, I see it as a good thing because that gives me hope in like they're actually gonna like really try with like environments. You know what I mean? Because when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, yeah, take it with half of a grain of salt. This is probably not how the game is gonna look, but if that is what they wanted to look, then it's one of two things. One, they're either improving on whatever it was that they used for Scarlet and Violet, or they're taking Arceus, which I think they should have done from the beginning, and like implemented that into Scarlet and Violet. But they might be taking what they used for Legends Arceus and then building off on that. I really liked that engine. I liked the way that that looked. Obviously, it's not like perfectly polished or whatever, and there's like the frame rate issues with like the distance and stuff. But again, that was like their first time doing something like that. So if they can build off of that and then implement it into this one, I'm all for the wait, especially with like not really being interested in ZA, and then everybody just kind of being disappointed with ZA. We kind of do need just a longer wait period for them to just cook and do their thing. Um, I do agree though with the remakes. It's cool, especially if it's a newer generation where like us, where we had the games and like we still got them. The new gen probably never even like heard of the Game Boy and probably don't have one. So it's cool for them to have that chance to get that, but remakes are just like to kill time. Like let's be honest. They're they're whatever. Like there really shouldn't be any kind of hype, and I mean, I guess Pokemon would have thought that there would have been hype because it's anniversary time. We're taking it back to the day one or whatever. But remakes are just remakes. They're whatever for me. And this is coming from somebody that has bought every single remake of Kingdom Hearts as they dropped. Like I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff because I really like the game. So it might be the same feeling for uh, people that are like super into Pokemon, but for me, I'm cool with the ones that I got. I don't even got a Switch 2. So, uh, yeah, that stuff was like whatever.
yeah, I see it like you said. I'm more like that too. For certain games, I like buying like the re-releases of them, but I think it's not bad. I just think it's a big gap between the games, like the mainline games. So it's like it kind of hopefully it's like I feel like it's gonna do what Legends. Well, kind of like what this game is. I don't think this game is necessarily bad. A lot of people don't like it because I think people are getting to like the thingy where it's like, how do I explain it? It's like the same dev team because it's Games Freak, but like it's like Infinity
Yeah,
Ward versus like Treyarch when it comes to like Call of Duty. Like it's
yeah,
very
yeah,
different. Like the Legends games are like Modern Warfare in this example, and like the main games like Scarlet and Violet, like the main double games are usually like the Black Opses of the series. So they're just completely different under the same title. So I think one or the other has more fans than the other, if that makes sense. Like it's like almost like a divided fan base because there's plenty of people who like the format of the Legends games, like Legend Arceus and like Legends EA, even though, like I said, it's in the minority of smaller crowds for the game. It's
yeah,
still like a different crowd of people who play the two. But because we're getting such a big gap between Scarlet and Violet to win the waves and having Legends EA in the middle of it, I feel like you said there's so much and this goes back to our previous podcast with like hate game culture and the way games are just fucking getting fried right now. This adds
oh
so
yeah, like
much
marathon
extra.
for example, dude. Oh
Yeah,
my,
this adds so much extra pressure to wins and waves because now people are looking at it like you said, like there's so much hope that the game is gonna have things that you think you want in the game, and then when it has things that people don't majority like or agree with, it could backfire on them because then they're gonna be like, dude, you spent a year and a half to make this game and it didn't deliver. So it's like,
yeah, like if
bruh.
they drop it and it's in like the same kind of quality as Scarlet and Violet, I don't think there's hope for like the future games at that point. They definitely got to come back with like a big banger. That's why I think that bigger gap is like a needed gap, even though we're kind of just like itching to get like another peak uh, Pokemon game, which hasn't been for a while, in my opinion. And we'll get to that eventually once we talk about like our favorite gens and stuff. But I have some hope still because there's definitely potential. We've seen them have that potential and they've delivered before. So I don't know. I'm just gonna let them do their thing until the time being.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you. I actually agree with everything you say.
Yeah.
I just think there's, it's a two-edged like sword. Like it's a break that's
Oh, for
needed.
sure.
It's a break that's needed for the game to be great if you make the correct changes that need to be made. But it's also like if you take that time, like I said, and the ball drops, it's like, bruh, like it also goes both ways. Like you waited long and then it
Hmm.
didn't do thing. And let's be honest, like Pokemon itself as a franchise that isn't even in a bad spot. The real complaints about ZA are just people who aren't fans of like the Legends game, kind of, because let's be honest, like although Arceus has a bigger support, I guess, or more support than ZA did, it still was in the niche of a game. Like a lot of people stayed on Scarlet and Violet over that game still. Like when Arceus first came out, when it was
Yeah.
the first Legend, not everyone transitioned to like it. Honestly, that was a game that like it marinated. It took time for people to really grow on it. A lot of people played that game later than when they expected, and when people weren't in their ear telling them it wasn't like a mainline game, they ended up enjoying it. Now there's people who put out the rip who love it, and I feel like that's the same thing with ZA. ZA is like it's not a terrible game. Most of the complaints that come from this game, honestly, are all performance things because of the Switch versus Switch 2, which is just like gonna be a thing, but that's not like a developer thing.
Yeah.
That's like a console thing. It's not like a game problem. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I hope everything.
Especially with Arceus. Arceus was one of those where I feel like it was more of like an Animal Crossing kind of thing, where it's like this is one that you just like take your time on. Like there's nothing competitive about this. This is just like if you really like Pokemon and like wanted to see the other end of like being a professor kind of and like studying the Pokemon and stuff with like filling out the Pokedex, that was like for those kinds of people. I liked Arceus because it was just like laid back like that. But
That's honestly how this one is. To be fair, a majority of this game is not competitive. A majority of this game and the fun things that come out of this game is the access or the easy access to shiny hunting and doing events in this game with the like mega dimension rifts things. The only thing that's semi-competitive about this game is there because there's megas in it, and that just draws people's attention because
yeah,
megas are like the most competitive online battling format. It's better than VMAX. It's better than Gigantamaxes. It's better than Dynamax. It's better than Z moves. It's just megas just draw the most attention when it comes to that because they're, in my opinion, just the best. I guess when it comes to that.
yeah,
So, but if you take the megas away from this game, it's a very casual, shiny hunting game, and they delivered both ways. Like I said, we talked about this in the previous thing, when people complain about shinies. Yes, like regular shinies are easier, but they also gave us alphas, which are like the alpha shinies, which have the same OG drop rates as old shinies. So it's more of like a game. This game is more of like a like I would agree with you, like Animal Crossing, kind of in a way, and maybe not like the professor side, but more like what's a good example of a game that would be like close to this? I would say more like a simulating game, like, almost like a simulator game. Honestly, you're just simulating what it would be
Okay.
like to live like in a city, like city life of a Pokemon city, and that's kind of what it is. I don't think there's more to it than that. I can't really explain it like in depth. I just feel like it's just a casual game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's casual, and I think it's not like it's not warranted to be as hated as is because there is no online battling. Really, a lot or really popular online battling.
Okay. I might pick it up then. I don't know. But with talking about like going back in time and all that, and with like the new starters, there's been tier lists coming out. So I wanted us to make our own tier list. I'm gonna send you mine. I don't know if you want to send me yours, just so we like have it on each other's side and then kind of walk through it. I don't know if you want to like go through your tier list first and then have me go through mine, or like if you want to go in or like go through each tier together. Like I'm down to do it either way.
Yeah, we could just go through them like one by one, and then I'll probably just like either type them up on the screen or something for everyone at once when they're both done, like your side, my side. Um, however. Oh, see,
I bet.
you did like this.
No, yeah, yeah. I did
Oh,
like an actual like tier list, tier list.
okay. See, I completely we did this differently. I will put this picture how you did this in the podcast at this moment. I actually did
All
mine
right, so then
by like
let's
I
let's
did
go with you.
I did
Okay, yeah,
mine by
because you
like the
saw
whole
mine.
trio. I did mine by like the trio. I just typed it like I didn't. I thought it had to be like the trio
Oh,
together, like
hell nah. I went like
full
band for
on
band.
individual. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, we'll put yours on there, and then you go ahead and
Okay,
explain
so
that.
then let's go through yours then first, since you went like through trios based.
Yeah, because when you said tier list, I was like, okay, I gotta put them all together. Which ones really stand out to me? But
Yeah.
yeah.
There
Okay,
was only one for me that was like the trio like goes in this one spot for sure.
okay, okay, yeah. So we were on different pages there. I see the trio you're talking about now too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So let's go through your trio. You can go from top to bottom, bottom to top. Don't matter.
All right, well we'll go from we'll just go from bottom to top, I guess. So for me,
All right.
the most crit one is the most boring one to me. I thought Gen 9 was like whatever.
Yeah,
I don't even
agreeable.
care about the full mega evolutions. Like I don't really care about like any of them. Um, then the second one, this one might get a lot of hate, but I only like one of the starters, and that's the Gen 2 one, which is like Totodile and them. I really only like Totodile.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
rest of
I
them are
agree.
kind of like okay. Then I have Gen 5, which is Snivy, T-Pig, and Oshawott. I thought those ones were like not that they're bad.
Okay.
Like anything from here on out is not bad.
Yeah, it's just
It's
like kind
just
of like basic level right now, you know?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
and then after that, I do think that Snivy kind of carries this that tier that I just listed. I think so. I like the Gen 8 ones next. I just don't. I just think the evolution lines at the end are better, like Rillaboom, Cinderace, and Inteleon. I
Yeah.
just think they're better at the end than the last one I just listed. And then from here on out, I think these next like four of them, besides my first place one, these next four are kind of like interchangeable. There is no wrong, so I kind of just put them in whatever order. And that is Gen
For sure.
6, the X and Y ones like Froakie, Chespins, Braxton. I think those ones are all kind of good. Gen 4, Chimchar, Piplup, Turtwig, also all good. And then yours as well, the Gen 1 or Gen 3, the Turchic, Mudkip, Trico. I think those ones are good. And then Gen 1, like the OG ones, I feel like those are just kind of like always interchangeable. Those are like iconic. Can't really go
Yeah.
wrong with the OG ones. And then for me, my number one spot, undoubtedly, I like all these starters. I like all their evolution lines. Is the Gen 7 Alolan ones, which is Litten, Rowlet, and Primarina. I'd like those like all the way through, like the mid
Fair.
tiers and the end tiers. I mean, those are just iconic starters to me. In my opinion, they're the best. Like I said, they're the best full line. Like there is no miss. Like even their middle evolution is good. Uh, their final evolutions are broken. Two of them or like arguably some of the most competitive Pokemon. And Incineroar might be like the best fire type competitive Pokemon. Like that thing still runs. Like if you
Yeah,
watch like the actual tournaments, like for the games, that every time he's available or in the rotation, that Pokemon just curb stomps people. And Decidueye is also a really good grass type.
yeah.
So yeah, that's my list right there. Like I said, I did a little different than you. I didn't know we were doing it like that. If we were doing it like that, some of these would be way higher, like Totodile, Snivy. Some of them would be way higher than others. Like I'd probably put Froakie like way higher than he is. Um, so yeah.
I might have missed it. Where'd you put the Scarlet and Violet ones at?
That's the Gen 8 ones, right? Scorebunny them. I put them at.
No. That's Fuecoco, Quaxley.
Oh, that's Gen 9. Yeah, they're my last place ones.
Oh, I thought you meant like the new ones, like just announced were in the last place. Okay,
No,
that's
because
interesting.
this Legends Z8 doesn't have starters.
No, I'm talking about the ones that like just got announced.
Oh no, I didn't include those on my list. But if
Okay.
I did, those would be last place. So those would be 10.
See, I thought those were the ones that, okay, so
Yeah,
you got Scarlet and Violet at the very bottom. Okay.
yeah.
I mean, I guess that's fair too. Not a lot of time to like have like a nostalgic feel for them. So,
I'm telling you honestly too. It's not even that. It's just that like when I played that game, dude, I literally got rid of my starters like before they even hit the mid evolution thing. I probably got one of them
yeah.
to the mid evolution part, and then I completely beat the game without them on my team. Like I don't even think I
I
fully
mean,
evolved them
yeah.
for my decks. Honestly, I didn't even finish my decks in that game. My tier two is just sitting in his. He's just sitting in the box.
That's kind of insane. I did finish the decks for that just because it was hella easy to get shinies in that. So I was like, might as well just make it easier so I can get the shiny charm and all
Yeah.
that. Okay, so you just went with like, because you even went in depth and like considered the middle stages and like the evos and stuff, competitive wise. I just went with like straight like vibes, like the first time you meet them kind of thing.
Oh,
So this is
well,
just
yeah. Well, hold on. I didn't mean to cut you off. My list
no. Go
was
ahead.
the other ones below the Alolan ones were not the whole line. I'm just the Alolan ones for me. The reason that they're the best is because I like every evolution is a hit.
Oh, okay.
That's why I consider them. They're like multiple reasons. Like one, they're just my favorite looking ones. Two, like the whole evolution line hits, and then three, like obviously like they're some of the most like competitive, fun Pokemon to use. They're just overpowered Pokemon. I just like that. That line just stands out to me.
Got it.
The era of Sun and Moon was just fun.
Bet. Okay. See, I don't have a connection because I never played Sun and Moon, so I don't have like that kind of feel for it. But a lot of people
Mm.
did like Sun and Moon, so understandable. Yeah, I just went with this like pure like first impression kind of the ones. At the very bottom in its own category, we got Cyndaquil. If you know, you know this man should be stopped at all cost because he would definitely be on a certain list that people have been talking about recently, and or a friend or acquaintance of Diddy. If you don't know, don't worry about it. You don't need to look it up. Just keep him there. The chicken, burn it. I don't like it. Not in the same tier list as Cyndaquil, slightly above that. I really don't like it. Just seems so like an easy cop out for a starter. I don't know if that makes sense, but just when I look at it, I just think of other mons. Somebody said Angry Birds, so I'm like, yeah, I see it. And this is probably all just like premeditative or pre like gen drop hate. You know what I mean? Opinions are probably going to change on the starters. But then above that, in E tier, we got the new dog one. Just I don't know. It's just the same thing. It seems like a lazy design. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but D tier. This one, and then you're gonna put up the picture. So I kind of have them in the order of like how I would prefer them. So like the first one would be like a D plus, and then like D minus all the way down through. So I
Yeah.
have in that order Sprigatito, Snivy, Poplio, Chikorita, and the Water Gecko. These like I don't. because we Liden's like way above in the list. I feel like Sprigatito for like a cat Pokemon, it didn't hit because you have other cat Pokemons too, like Skitty that I really like, Glamio that I really like. Something about this design,
Yeah, any of
um,
the Eevees?
ki- yeah, exactly. Like it kind of it's the same thing kind of with the new Chickenmon. Like it just seems like a very way too simplistic design. Snivy, I just don't like the way he be like side eyeing you, so that's why he's down there. Poplio, it it's probably just because I never played that gen, so I don't really like have a connection with those starters. So that added to the fact that the design, for me at least, it just sums off about it a little bit. I don't know if it's like the nose thing because they were trying to do like a like a juggler kind of feel with like
Yeah.
the ball on the nose kind of thing. Um, I I feel like something about that part specifically is just like a little bit off. Chikorita, um, it's just like a weird shape, ain't it? Like it's a thumb with a leaf. I don't like the design. And then the water gecko again, it's brand new. Like I don't really have like a feeling for it. So it's just there. But it's above all the other two new starters.
Yeah.
From here on out, C tier and up, this is like the basics. Like we're good. They're not terrible. C tier is like, okay, cool. Like we can enjoy them. So again, from that order, like a C plus to C minus, Turtwig, Charmander, Tepig, Sobble, Bulbasaur. Turtwig is like up there. I was kind of debating on putting him on like the lower like B tier, but it's just because he's like a turtle. But the other turtle Pokemon that we have, I feel like have a bit more depth to them. So that's why he's like C tier, but like at the top end. Charmander, I mean, this is just like the classic like Pokemon. I
Yeah.
think if Pikachu was not the mascot, they would have had Charmander because of Charizard, like that kind of thing. But that's also why he's in CT. I think he just gets too much glaze, um, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Tepig, again, we have Lechonk, and I love that design. I just feel like for like a pig Pokemon, they could have done something a bit more like unique. It's too like pig-like still. Sabo, he's a bitch. Like he's just crying all the time, complaining about shit. So that's why he's in C tier. And then Bulbasaur's cool, but I think it's just because it's Gen 1 and there's nothing like super crazy about those designs. It's like very basic. A lot of them have a lot of similarities to them, so it's kind of there. And it's my least favorite, I would say, of all the Gen 1 starters too. So that's why he's at the bottom of the C tier list. Not terrible, but like passable. B tier from B plus to B minus, we have Squirtle, Chimchar, Totodile, Oshawott, shit. What's the name of that one? Fennekin?
Fennekin, yeah, I
Right.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuecoco, Chespin, and then
Score Bunny.
it's Score Bunny. Yeah. I didn't play those games. So with those, I forget the name sometimes. These are like the ones where like I wouldn't mind if these were the last ones like on Professor Oak's table that I got to pick up. You know what I mean? They're all good. I like all their designs. I like the typings that they have. Just they're not like my first picks, so that's why they're in the B tier. A tier, we have Piplup, Froakie, Rowlet, Grookey, and Litten. These I think are like perfect designs for them. I really like the way that they look. I like the evolutions that they end up becoming, and I just feel like there's like you can see more personality like in their first stage forms than the other ones. S tier, my lone boy, Sugar D, baby, from Scarlet and Violet, Quaxley. Something about it. Something about like the slick back hair, you know what I mean? He's a little bit zesty, but like it's with like some charisma to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like that pompadour kind of look too with the cut that's like a classic, like you know this dude be getting some in like the animes. Every dude that got the pompadour in any anime manga, you know that dude got aura. So that's why
Dude,
he's an S tier.
he just
And
looks like
then
a DLC character for DuckTales.
yeah, exactly. And then above that, these are the ones that I would allegedly commit war crimes for, and it's all of Gen 3. Trico, Torchic, Mudkip. This one is definitely biased because Gen 3 was the first generation that I got introduced into, but I think that all three of the starters are good. Like there's not a bad pick in there, even once you get to like the final forms. So that's my tier list. I'm gonna piss off a lot of people, but it is what it is.
I think it's a good list. Like I said, we had a little bit of a different understanding of how we were gonna do it,
Yeah.
but it still worked out good. And I actually think positive about the ones you picked. Honestly, that Gen also has the best set of, maybe not the best set, but like one of the very best sets of complete shinies too. Like shiny Skeptile, shiny Blaziken, shiny Mudkip are all unique colors, so they're
Yep.
all.
I mean, since we're on that topic, because you brought it up right before we got in it, and you asked like top 5 shinies. Did you want to drop yours first, or did you want me to drop mine?
You can go back to back. I'll let you go. I'll let you go first since I went first in the other
Okay.
one.
So these are just gonna be honorable mentions, just because they were either a bit too similar or like color wise or texture wise. I'll get into that part in a second. Or just because just ego. That one being Lapras, pretty self-explanatory on why I like that one. The purple dinosaur. So that I mean that's really the only reason. That and I also shiny hunted it through eggs in Diamond and Pearl, and I got super lucky. So I ended up hatching, I think it was like 700 and something eggs. And then I hatched one, and I still had like, I want to say like 2 rows left of eggs in the PC. And I was like, whatever, let me just hatch them. Literally within 2 eggs, I got another one. So just a good memory overall for Lapras. And then another honorable mention, Spiritomb and Magneton. I love these shinies, but these were a bit too similar to my first two that I'm going to talk about, so that's why I left them out. So, similar one to Spiritomb, this was color-wise, is Sceptile. Sceptile, and I do want to preface, these are in no, like, order of, like, bottom to top, or for the 5 shinies. I really like these shinies. You can put them in any order, and then I'll be cool with it. But Sceptile, again, it's nostalgia with it. It was the first starter that I shiny hunted. I love the color change on it, even though it's not like a super drastic, but it's like that blue turquoise kind of color, and then the red like bulbs on the back, like make it pop. That's why Spiritomb is just an honorable mention because it's a very similar color to Sceptile. The next one, Scizor. A lot of people hate the green shinies, and I agree. Most of them are ugly, but I like Sceptile because of Scarlet and Violet. The like shiny texture that they have for metal Pokemon is so good. It makes it pop, and that's why Magneton is an honorable mention because of that texture piece. It looks so good, especially like when the sun is going down and like the reflections on it. It's a really cool, and I really like Scizor as a Pokemon in general. Third one, Rayquaza. I feel like this is gonna be on anybody's like top 5 list, if not a shiny that's like a black color palette, because
Yeah.
those are usually the cleanest ones. Especially Mega Rayquaza. Dude, are we serious? It's so good because it just makes the yellow and orange pop. It makes the red pop. really good, and it matches with the luxury ball. So that's just another thing. Um, Another one, Hisuian quillfish. Regular quillfish is cool, but the Hisuian one is kind of in that same like black monochromatic color palette, but it has the purple at the tip of the spikes. I really like that because it kind of keeps that poison typing with it, and it's a cool shading. So it's a double effect with the shininess. And then another one which might be crazy, but Chi-Yu, one of the four, like, I think they're considered legendaries. I don't think they're called mythical Pokemon, from Scarlet and Violet. The fire goldfish.
Yeah.
I like this one because fire type, but blue fire is hotter than like orange red fire. So it makes sense for it to be blue in the shiny. So it being still like a throwback or alluding to the typing that it is, and just a really good color scheme, the like darkish blue, light blue with the black. I really like it. So those are my top five.
Yeah, that's not a list. That's not a bad list at all. I think the thing you mentioned about the scissors, he would also be one of my honor mentions. That green is just really unique, and I think like Metal
Yeah,
Pokemon in general, like even when they added, I think it is it Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield that they added like the iron ones, like any of
it might have
those.
been Sword and Shield. I didn't play it though, so
Yeah, like Iron
my first
Threads.
experience was Scarlet and Violet.
Ah, okay, yeah, yeah. Iron, like the Iron Threads and the Iron, I forget what it's called, but the Iron like Hariyama and the Iron Tyranitar. Both the regular metal versions of them and the shiny versions of those just look so good when the metal is shiny. And just looks so good
Yeah,
regularly, like just the Iron Threads. The Iron Tyranitar just looks so good regardless.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, so I'll get into my top five shinies. I didn't really list my honorable mentions. I didn't even think about that. But it's funny when we were making our list, I literally said out loud, I was like, dude, it's so hard to think about some
yeah. Because there's a
Pokemon to
lot.
put. There's
There's
a
a lot.
lot. Yeah. If I had to think of some off the top of my head, honestly, he is my. Actually, I'll say that. I'll say that for later because we're gonna do that as a topic. But I probably think of like Ampharos. I think is really good. Salamence is really cool. I know that's a green that like people said they don't like it, but I like Salamence just because I like the
Yeah,
Pokemon itself. Like I said, Ampharos, the pink is really cool. Mega Gengar is super sick. It goes like from. It's one of
yeah.
the rare Pokemon that go from black to white, so it's kind of unique. Or like a darkest color, I mean, to white.
And it saves that shiny line.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are like some of my honorable mentions. But I'm gonna go ahead and hop into my list. My list is exactly like yours. I don't think there is a specific order for it. I just say it how it is. I think we had the same one. We have one of the same ones. Skeptile is also on there for me.
Hell yeah.
That shiny is just so sick. It's a very unique color. It's hard to come by. It's just super unique. And then next for me, this one is more of like a mon that's on a niche side. But just from watching the animated series, this Pokemon has just stuck with me from watching that. He just has like he's kind of like the Oramon in my opinion, and that is Halucha. The shiny Halucha uh, color wave is so
Mm,
sick. The purple, like the purple and the reddish like color wave from his opposite of like the white and green. Yeah, but that
yeah.
Pokemon is just like the auto. If you watched X and Y, the animated series, that Pokemon is just the auto aura farm. He is willing to like throw down with any Pokemon higher than him. He don't give a
Hell
shit. Like
yeah.
he just ready to he runs the fist, dude. That's all he does. He runs hands. So yeah, he's the auto aura Pokemon in my opinion. But yeah, he's one of my favorite shinies. And this one is new to ZA. I think the Mega Shiny Zora Aura is super good. For some reason, the regular shiny is okay, but when he goes to Mega and changes to that color wave, and his new Mega is just sick as fuck. So that's probably up there. Then the next one would be it's one of the evolutions, and I personally think this might be one of the best shinies ever. It's hard to top this one to me, in my opinion. And that shiny Sylveon, the color wave is just super clean,
Oh yeah.
and it's so simple too because it's not even like it's a different color. They're just inverted colors. Like all the colors that were the
Yeah.
color on the other one are just the colors backwards in different areas. That one is like one of the most simplest looking clean shinies that there possibly is. Um, so yeah, and then my very last one is obviously another kind of similar one to Sylveon, where it's more of a color wave change than a shiny, and that is Incineroar. The white and red just looks so much
Oh
better than
yeah,
the black
yeah.
and red. So yeah, I really fuck with those shinies. That's my list of shinies right there.
I like it. I dig it. I like it how it was like different too. We got a different perspective on the other ones. So
Yeah.
with the tier list and the shinies, favorite trio starters. It's not a surprise that mine is Gen 3 because I kind of already said it, but I like all of them. I like that generation just as a whole. Um, I think it's one of the better story wise and like new introduction of Pokemon,
Hmm.
and it's just like a lot of nostalgia really going into those three because I did playthroughs with all three of them. So
Yeah. No, that I said those are also. I also agree that those. That's a good line, and like I said, their shinies are also very cool to me too.
yeah,
For me, my favorite trio, I also did state this earlier in the podcast, would be the Alolan starters. If I had to go on more than what I said about them in my list, I think for me, I think like you said, I actually started when you brought it up, it actually made sense. Like thinking about like a connectivity thing to them, I feel like for me and Sun and Moon as a whole, like the games, the gen, the anime, it was at a time in my life when I feel like everyone goes through like like people make the joke about like your Minecraft spurt, like you play for 2 weeks and then you don't play
yeah,
Minecraft. I feel
yeah,
like that was a time in my life. What that was Pokemon for me. Like I felt like I wasn't really into the car. It's like a time in my life where I didn't like. It was a while before that stuff came out that I wasn't into Pokemon. I guess, like you could say,
yeah,
I'm always a fan of Pokemon, but like I wasn't playing the games, wasn't collecting the cards, wasn't watching any of the shows. Um, I feel like the games didn't have as much like I don't know like hype to them at around that time. But then like Sun and Moon came around, the anime came around, and we got introduced to like Z moves, and then the show was really good. It was also like at a weird period of time where it became like that's around the same time that Pokemon I feel like became mega mainstream. Like Netflix had bought out Pokemon kind of. Like Sun and Moon
mm,
was on Netflix, like for the first time like you
yeah.
could actually watch it from the biggest streaming platform at that time. And then the Sun and Moon games were like in the very beginning of the 3DS era, so it's like 3DSs were like relevant at the time. And then we
Yeah.
had like Z moves were a thing, and for the first time ever, we didn't have legendaries. We had like those what were they called? What were they called in that? They were like
Ultra Beast.
Ultra Boost. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't
Yeah.
think of Ultra Boost. Yeah, and so that was something brand new, and yeah, it just everything about that era just resonated with me. It got me like back into like the love of Pokemon. So I guess that's also why I'm biased towards them because they kind of restored like more hype to it. Like it brought me back into the loop, kind of.
Oh yeah, for sure. Talking about like favorite gens, we wanted to talk about favorite box legendary trio or duos because I think Black and White only had two. I could be wrong. I never played that game. My bad.
Uh, yeah, Black and White
But
has two, and what's the other one? Alpha, no, Omega Ruby has two as well. Omega Ruby is just Groudon
oh
and
right, because they
Kyogre.
just did the yeah. But even though, and this was such a hard one for me, even though Gen 3 is my favorite gen, I think Gen 4 has the best, or for me, like, these are my favorite, the best trio with Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. I think just because the story for me is a little bit more interesting, like, you're going beyond, like, just, like, Earth, and now you're messing with space, time, and, like, alternate dimensions kind of thing.
Yeah,
And their cries are really good. The designs I think are really good. The shinies can do work, except for Giratina's. Giratina's is I think one of the best shinies ever.
yeah, I
But
agree.
yeah, aside from like the shinies being the only thing that kind of brings down that trio as a whole, I just really like their like their importance in the story too. So Gen 3, I love Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza, but the I think it's just because of the story for me that I like Gen 4 story better than Gen 3 story. That's what made me go with those three as my top.
Okay, yeah, those are really valid. I like those. Mine are. I actually have a tie for a three-way tie, and they're all duos.
Okay. Okay.
But there's a specific number one and two, or number one, I guess, pair. And for me, the number one pair is you always said it. The black and white era was Reshiram and Zekrom. I think those are the most well-rounded legendaries, if that makes sense. Like I'm talking about media-wise, not like them themselves.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they look sick. Don't get me wrong. Reshiram is one of my favorite looking legendaries, but they have like some. What I mean by they're the most well-rounded is they have a good set of game covers. I think the black and white game covers are some of the most iconic DS game
Yeah.
covers out there. Secondly, they have exclusive 3DS. I feel like I don't. I try to put pictures of them, but they have each of them have 3DS consoles. Like when they actually did like themed ones that are actually super sick. On top of that, they also have some of the best cards throughout every era. Like you have modern SIRs. They just redid black and white, like a new black and white flare, white flare. They have re-modernized version of their mid-era cards. Um, they have some of the best also vintage cards. I feel like the Flash Flyer cards or that Flash Flyer era of cards is also very well. Just anything revolving around them is so well done. I feel like it's just like well branded. Like I said, beyond like just
Yeah.
just the way they look. And then for me, the other ones after that would also be I just said it, Groudon and Kyogre. I like them, and then Solgaleo and Lunala are also very uniquely designed ones. I guess so. Galeo and Lunana would kind of be Ultra Beasts, but I guess since there was no legendaries in that thing, you kind of like tier them into that kind of, I guess, because they're like not regular Pokemon.
Yeah, that counts. And they were on the box too. I just looked up the DS that you were talking about. That thing is clean as shit, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm
What
saying.
the f-
They're sick.
I need to get me one of those. So I guess with that being said, would those be your top three gens? Or is that list different?
No, I don't think that'll be my top three gens. My gens are actually different than the different than all my lists. Honestly, the reason I picked my gen. Well, actually, one gen has been a pretty common theme, but the other two are not like common at all. So they're actually different if you want to go into those.
Yeah, what are your top three?
So again, I think Gen 7, that era of Pokemon, again, I'm gonna keep glazing it. I know, kind of glazing it a little bit now. It's starting to sound like super glaze, but a Gen
I'm
7,
definitely super glazing mine. I don't
yeah,
give a shit.
Gen 7 to me was one of the best looking environments to the game. And Gen 7 is obviously the Alolan stuff, like the beach vibes, Hawaii type Pokemon that we got introduced into that era has some of my favorite Pokemon outside of just the starters. I mean, Turtonator is probably my second favorite most fire type. Um, all the Alolan forms of Pokemon are super fucking sick, like Alolan Raichu, Alolan Executor, Alolan Marowak, like any of the Alolan forms, Vulpix, which we got a completely new type, Ice type, Ninetales. Just the icy white Ninetales is just so clean. Any
Yeah,
of the Alolan forms, Pokemon and that era of, like I said, that era of cards too, as well. I was gonna bring up the cards too. Just the Alolan aspect and aesthetic is super good. We also, to me, got some of the best alt art cards with tag teams. I think tag teams was super sick. That idea of tag battles being very very popular in that show. A lot of the gym battles were not one on one. A lot of in the anime, a lot of them were like team battles. I also
yeah,
think we got one of the most unique time-based Pokemon, and what I mean by that is the Lycanroc line. I think you have like Dust
yeah. That's a pretty
Form.
cool line.
Yeah, you have Dust Form, and then you have Ash's like midday form, and then you have the night form Lycanroc. Super clean. Like I said, yeah, that era of Pokemon for me is just tier one. And I think a lot of in the anime show, a lot of the characters designed around Ash, it was the first time there was more than one companion. He had a group of friends, like he was in a school, kind of, and I feel like all of them are well designed. Like their teams stand out, their Pokemon that they actually are with them are unique. So, and I feel like that was the first time that they didn't have to bring older Pokemon back for the show to be relevant in a way. Like we didn't have to see like
Mm,
returning gens and returning popular Pokemon to kind of fill in that gen, if that makes sense, because of the Alolan
yeah,
forms and things like that. But then my next one, This one is only a specific reason why I like this gen, and it's obviously because again, someone else that we're gonna a different topic. We're naming that later, but a certain Pokemon is in this gen, and it's his first time appearing in this gen, and that's Gen 4. That gen is my
Yeah.
favorite gen because of that, but we'll announce that later with another question. And then my last gen that I like would be, I think this is like pretty common for everyone. I just think the original 151 are like the most iconic for people our age. I mean, it's like everyone can name everyone, and everyone can name most of the Pokemon in that gen, and it has Mew and Mewtwo.
Yeah, that's fair. And I feel like even if you don't know Pokemon, you know one of the 151. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So yeah, I agree. Gen 4 is in my top three. Also, that one. I mean, we'll get to that. My top three. The third one is like this might piss people off because I've never played it, but I'm putting it up there just because I've heard like nothing but good things about it. And that's Gen 5. Gen 5, I think for a lot of people, just from what I've heard, that's where the story kind of like peaked and was like, okay, like we have not just a good like Pokemon, but like the story is really interesting. It's really in depth. A lot of people say Looker. I think that's his name. Like, it's like one of their favorite characters when it comes to Pokemon stories, and he's in there. There's a lot of like twists and stuff. So I've only heard nothing but good things about it. I want to play that game so bad. I'll play it eventually. I promise. But I've only heard good things about it, so I feel like it deserves a spot in the top three, even though I've never played it. I could change my mind once I play it, but from what people have been saying and how much it gets hyped up, it might stay there. First and second place, it's between Gen 3 and Gen 4. You can put them on either one, and I feel like I would be okay. And again, it's because of the stories. I think for me, a really good Pokemon game is not just good Pokemon designs and like just like good new Pokemon, but the story too. Because if it's boring, because for me, Scarlet and Violet, it was not interesting at all story wise until it got to the end. That's when like all the shit happened, and it wasn't even like part of the actual story. It was like an after credits kind of thing. But that doesn't happen in the Gen 3, Gen 4. That's like throughout the whole thing. All the stuff that happens on like the end and the after credits, that's all great too, but it's just in continuation of greatness from like the main things. And with Gen 3, like growing older, it's such a like like it's global warming. Like you have Team Magma, Team Aqua. They're both fighting for Pokemon to like have them just take over like the natural order of things because people are just destroying their environment. Which the fact that that concept they can do it now still and it still be relevant is kind of crazy. And then I already talked about it a little bit with Gen 4, but just messing with space and time, it just reminds me of like Inception, Interstellar, like concepts that really make you think and just be a bit more like in depth with it. I really like that. And aside from the box legendaries, the other legendaries too. Gen 3, I mean, having to read Braille, having to have like a specific Pokemon at the front of your party and at the end of your party to unlock the different Regis, and then you get Regigigas. It was so much fun
yeah,
getting like to learn all that as a kid. And then Gen 4, just the Lake Trio, I don't like their designs, but I like their concepts. And then you have Shaman, Darkrai, another super cool Pokemon, Cresselia. So those are my top two gens for sure. Those switch first, second, I'm okay with either one. You were hinting at your favorite Pokemon. I feel like I know your favorite Pokemon, but what's your favorite Pokemon?
Yeah, my favorite Pokemon is Lucario. I think anyone who kind of keeps up with my content maybe has seen it on TikTok when I showed my collection off and stuff like that. But yeah, Lucario is easily my favorite Pokemon, and that's why Gen 4 is obviously one of my favorite gens. And that's why also I was gonna include him as an honorable mention for a shiny, but I didn't want to in our shiny list because I didn't want to give that away yet. But yeah, although he's my favorite Pokemon, his shiny is kind of like okay. I'm not a big fan of yellow, but yeah, he's my favorite Pokemon. He's just been my favorite Pokemon ever since I've gotten the Pokemon. I think from the first minute that I saw Railu, I just feel like I don't know, he stuck out to me. And Lucario is one of those Pokemon that travels through like all the shows and just you know brings up hype to it, I guess. So
Yeah.
he just goes to the shows and he's in a lot of the animes. I don't know. He's just a hype Pokemon. He's almost like just a Sudowoodo like a legendary kind of in a way. It feels like at this point now he just gets to be
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
strong. Like Ash won a championship with him. Karina was a super strong opponent that Ash had to fight in the anime. Um, Mega Lucario is just like I feel like one of the most iconic legend. I mean, Megas period. I think to start like I think besides like, you know, Charizard. I think he and Charizard were like the forerunners of like the very top echelon of Megas outside of like Garchomp and Gardevoir.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why he's just I don't know. There's something about him. He's just my favorite Pokemon. Uh, you know, yeah, I would say that. Maybe,
I feel
for,
you.
it's a stretch. My friend Zerk here makes fun of me and says maybe it's just I like him just because he reminds me just like Cooper. I don't see the resemblance, but I guess it could stand out.
I mean, the blue, I guess, but like that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like yeah, Lucario is my favorite. But what about you? What's your favorite Pokemon? I actually don't know this about you. I don't think I remember you've. I think maybe you mentioned, but
Y-
it's not as strong as like I don't know. I don't know.
No, yeah, and for me, like my favorite Pokemon, it's a toss up between two, and as you were talking, I was like, I got to decide one. So it was a toss up between Snom and Torkoal. Probably two of like people's like least favorite or like ones you would not expect. But Torkoal, I don't know, something about him. I feel like they could do more with him. They just don't give him like enough love. And I like the design and the concept of Torkoal. Just like an engine, pretty much. But he's a turtle, so he's slow. I like that like conflict of interest or that like what's it called like paradox essentially of Torkoal. And he's got some pretty good art in the TCG. So
Yeah,
that's an extra like little thing. And I do like that he does get love because he's on Flannery's team. So Snom, I think it's just because it's like one of the little guys, one of those small ones. Something about small Pokemon, I think everybody just in general likes, just because they seem like the most realistic or like ones that like were if they were in the actual world, it's like okay, like I can we could be friends, like we're cool. Um, and I think the typing, the ice, I don't think ice typing gets a lot of love. I love ice type Pokemon. I like the designs, the different concepts that they come up with to make the ice type Pokemon. So just the typing, the fact that he's a little guy. Uh, I agree the shinies for both of them are not the best, not my favorites, but those would be like my two. If I had to pick one, I'd go with Turquoise.
okay, yeah, that's super unique. I think it's actually cool when people have like more unique like picks like that because they're like usually have some sort of either story tied to them or they just like aesthetically stand out to people like how you were explaining. I think it's cool when it's something like that. Speaking of this though, it's funny because you mentioned about like how it has some cards and stuff. There's actually a content creator I can't think of his name on TikTok, and he does like because I watch like Pokemon cells and stuff on TikTok and stuff. He makes content about
Yeah,
like cards and stuff, and his favorite Pokemon is the least mentioned Pokemon throughout cards and games. Period. And you're gonna be crazy, but this Pokemon only has 8 TCG cards.
it's got to be a newer one.
No, It's a fossil Pokemon, and
Oh, okay.
it's Tyranium, the dinosaur.
I mean, that's fair. It's a huge ass dinosaur. Like,
It
why
has
would you
like
not like it?
no, but it has 7 total cards, and it's
No,
only
yeah,
been in like
that is crazy.
I think before ZA, it has not been in the last like I don't know how many games he said on his video the other day. It hasn't been the last like 4 or 5 games. Not even as like a DLC Pokemon you can bring into the game. Like so,
That's kind of crazy.
ZA is the first time that Pokemon is back, which is adding like a spike of want to him because people want to have him because he's haven't been in the game in a while. So people are like, oh, I'm obviously gonna go for him because I want him shiny on my team because he hasn't been in the game. But yeah, this guy is like,
Yeah,
it's his favorite Pokemon, and he's like, I just have no excitement. No, he doesn't. It's so crazy because the cards end before like all the cool cards. Like he has one, I think, singular EX card. But he don't have like no mega full arts. I don't know if he's a mega or not, but he don't have no full arts, no SRs, no IRs, no promos, not even no GXs, no EXs, no Vs, nothing.
that's kind of crazy. Now that you mention that, I feel like
You don't see him.
major. Actually, I feel like all of the fossil Pokemon are like that except for Aerodactyl. I think Aerodactyl is the only one that actually gets like some kind of attention
Yeah,
and
maybe
like is a
honestly.
recurring like one. Yeah,
Yeah, it might be. I'd have to look at the list of all of them, but for sure, like yeah, that's when he said that, and he said there's only like 7 cards. I like got curious. I looked it up on TCG Player, and I'm like, dude, I could literally buy all of Tyrantan's cards for like $30, and my collection would be done.
that's insane. He might as well just go for like the binder of like multiple pages of the same card.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would just start a petition or something for a card. Like if it was me, I'm signing up for every fan fest like fan art card.
Yeah,
I'm
just
trying
submitting into
to
like
yeah,
the
I'm trying
illustration
to
contest and
submit
shit.
something until it wins. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's insane. Tyrannid. I mean, it's a big ass dinosaur. Like, who wouldn't like it? But that's crazy. Only how many did you say? 7 or 8
yeah.
cards?
I think it's like 7 or 8 cards. I think it's not a
That's
lot.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Damn.
and only one,
That's
and
crazy.
only one like non-basic card. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah,
only has a
non-common.
singular EX card. Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah.
Well, I mean, shit. Only $20 to finish the collection. Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah. But
Shit. But with your favorite Pokemon, because the next one was gonna be if you were a gym trainer, what would be your ace and your typing? Would it be fighting typing or not be? Because I got a little twist with mine.
I also have a little twist on that. I'm glad you said
I
that
bet.
because I was just getting ready to explain that. I tried to. I've always thought about if I was like a gym leader. One, I don't know if I'd like. I guess if I could pick a job, I'd rather be the opponent of the gym. I'd rather go for the badges, be the trainer than the gym leader. I guess in that sense
Right.
because I'd want the freedom to have my team. I feel like if I were to see myself in that scenario, I mean, I'm not trying to make myself sound like OP, but I'd want to be like a more like an Elite Four instead of that because then an Elite Four could have
Yeah, you have
his team.
variety,
Yeah, I don't think I could
kind of.
tie myself to like a certain gym unless you do it like the way the new games do it, where they're like not type based because you kind of just get a gym badge now. They're not really like themed anymore. Like I mean, they're
Oh,
themed for
okay.
like the. Let me rephrase that. They're themed for like the concept of like understanding the game. Like you know, like this guy's gonna have electric type, so you need like whatever type to counter it. But they're not
Right.
like how they were back in the day, like Lieutenant Sarge, where he's fucking a fully commando.
Yeah,
You go
straight
into
electric.
yeah, you go into his
Yeah.
fucking little room, and it's all these fucking prong towers and electric
Yeah,
shit. Yeah,
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like that no more at all.
That's kind of crazy.
I mean, think about it. Scarlet and Violet, you fight that dude. You pull up to a restaurant, he's wearing a suit.
Hell yeah, my boy Larry. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's no theme about it. He's just a guy with a briefcase and Pokeballs.
Hey, Larry go hard, bro.
Yeah,
You know he mean business. He always with that suitcase.
but yeah, so if I did that, yeah, I would have my own team, and I'd have one more niche to it. I feel like to make this like a lore, like just to feed into like my favorite Pokemon, I would have my ace actually be the first Pokemon because I'd want to make it to where like obviously Lucario is my ace. I'd want it to make it to where like Lucario's like not like for one he free balling it, he Pikachu, and there ain't no Pokeball for him.
Yeah,
He's just him. So he's just gonna be walking
right.
around. But I want him to be the ace that starts. So like there's a lore to like what Pokemon comes next. Like hopefully I beat like let's just say hopefully in this world I'm good enough to beat a bunch of trainers to where like damn like it's an urban myth of what other Pokemon he has. Like you have to beat Lucario first and you don't even know if Lucario is actually his true
Mm.
ace. So you think Lucario's my ace, which he is my ace, but I want it to be like a concept of where people don't even like it's like a myth. Like people have to like start rumors like maybe he has a Rayquaza like or something crazy
Hell yeah.
like you know like something funny to the lore. But yeah, I
Yeah.
would do like my team would be I have a couple honorable mentions or at the end, so I'll do those at the very end because there's only two of them. I think I would switch out maybe three now. But obviously,
Okay.
I do Lucario, Gardevoir, Incineroar, Salamence, Primarina. I think she's my favorite water type. I just couldn't think of a water type. I wanted to be a little diverse. And then this one is super niche, but he's also been in a few games, and that's Bisharp. I think that steel type Pokemon is
He is
just cool.
clean.
But I only like the mid form. I do not like King Gambit. The chair thingy, sitting down in the chair thing, I just don't like. So I only like Bisharp before King Gambit. I thought I was so hyped that he
Yeah.
finally got something new, and then when I seen King Gambit, I was like, it's kind of cool, but like it just doesn't beat Bisharp. And shiny Bisharp when it's like the steel with the blue is just so good. But if I didn't have
Yeah,
Bisharp
I
there,
like the concept of King Gambit, but yeah, it's that hair thing that throws it off a little bit.
yeah, I also just don't like the sitting down aspect in the chair thing. I just kind of don't fuck with it. But yeah, if I had to switch out Bisharp though, it'd probably be either for Dragonite, Turtonator that I mentioned earlier, which would have putting me at two fire types, but I always usually do that anyways. And then if not them, Tyranitar, I feel like would be the switches that I would switch out. But yeah, that's kind of how I looked at it. I wanted to do something like unique, add some kind of like funny story to it, and that's why I came up with like I feel like an urban myth thing would be kind of cool. Like if everyone just sees my ace first, and I feel like if they never get past Lucario, they're not gonna know what's next. So then it just starts
Hell
rumors.
yeah.
It just starts rumors of what my next Pokemon is.
Hell yeah. I like that. My twist was not like that. Mine was like going with the fact that now you can have like whatever type with Terrestrial type. Or I would have my ace as Torkoal, but Ice type, because I'd main Ice type in the gym. Because now I can just make him Ice type. You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't even think
So
about that. Yeah.
yeah. Because that happens a lot in Scarlet and Violet too, where they're not like not their ace, but like the final Pokemon that they end up coming out with is either not that typing or it's like a dual type, and then they just make it like the pure whatever because of the terrestrial. So I wanted to do ice type because again, I feel like it's one of those that like doesn't get enough of love that I feel like should, but also it's one of like the weaker typings, right? It has like the most holes in it, competitive wise. So I understand from that point. Uh, my team, I don't really have like a particular what's it called? Like you could probably get me any Pokemon that are ice type, and I'd be cool with it. But I think I would go with Torkoal, obviously, as the ace with the ice type terrestrialization. Uh, Caliber. I know a lot of people don't like this one. This isn't because it's like the Godzilla one, from Scarlet and Violet. I like it. Do I think it's one of the better designs? No, it probably could have gotten a little bit more love, but it's a giant dinosaur. I, how are you not gonna like it? But Excalibur, definitely for sure. Plus, he was on my team when I did the Let's Play. Frostglass, I love her design. I love like her concept of like the origin of Frostglass. So definitely on there. Lapras, but the shiny Titan. It's another like kaiju type of Pokemon. So definitely got to be on the team. And Ice Cube, I feel like it's just a fun mon because of the ability. So that would definitely be on the team.
Dude, that's also such a unique type to think about. Like a lot of people just don't glaze ice. I feel like a lot. It's also like
Yeah, and they
it's
have
also like
like
a
dope ass
second.
designs, but
Yeah, I feel like it's just because like it's like I hate to add this like niche to certain types, but it is a true thing. I feel like it's a secondary type. Like people don't want to admit that there's a
yeah,
secondary type, but there is a secondary type. Like fairy,
yeah,
ice, dark, stuff like that are almost like secondary types to most Pokemon. But Yeah, that's a super sick list. I fuck with that list, and I like the idea of your terrestrializing thing. I didn't even think about including something like that in mine, and now to think
Yeah,
about it, dude, Lucario could be a glass cannon because now he has two forms of megas.
that is true. Yeah.
So I have a Mega X and a Mega Z. So
Yeah, because I have the Dynamax, like if I could for Lapras, but I feel like because one of my favorite Pokemon was like not of the same typing, I was like, just throw it on there because now you can just make it whatever fucking type you want. So
yeah, that's a sick thing. I guess it'd be cool for like the challenge to tie something to your things. So like for you, like terrestrializing would be like cool for your gym, and then for my honestly, the era Pokemon I picked, a lot of them have megas, like Mega Salamence, Mega Gardevoir, Mega
yeah,
Tyranitar,
yeah. I
Mega
initially
Dragonite.
wanted to do like, yeah, yeah, the whole team. Damn.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Initially, I wanted to do like a dual typing kind of thing, but I
Yeah,
was like, I don't really think there's a gym like that, and I feel like
yeah.
that'd be like now getting like way too complicated because now it's like, okay, well, if you're dual typing like
Yeah, that's cool.
fire and ice,
I'm,
what
I'm
if
glad you
it's
came up with
like
that
an
idea. I'm glad
ice
you were
like
okay with the twist
grass,
because I was
you
thinking
know?
about it. I'm like, dude, I just don't think I could do a specific type. And as much as I love Lucario, Lucario is like one of the very few main fighting types that like I am just not a fighting type person.
Yeah,
Like I just don't
yeah,
like that many fighting types.
yeah. There's not a lot of good like design
So outside of Lucario,
ones.
it's hard.
Yeah. I think the only other one that I would like that's fighting type is Mega Halucha. But aside from that, I don't know how we're running on time, but if we still got time, we could talk about other stuff outside of the games, Pokemon related.
Um, I think if we're gonna talk about outside of the games, if we're talking about Pokemon related stuff, I think we probably the only thing I do outside of the game I feel like would be like collectibles. Like I obviously we could talk about Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards is something I'm super into. And or like I said, bring up the 3DS thing. I think I would want to make it a goal of mine to maybe get back into collecting like now that I've been watching. I don't know, lately in my algorithm I've been seeing more people do like collectible stuff. So like seeing people hunt like those 3DSs and those themed like Pokemon like equipment, like the game or equipment, like the consoles. I feel like
Yeah,
those would be sick to have. Like I start seeing some of like the collectible boxes, like the collectible box for like a stadium, like would be fucking
yeah,
sick. Or like I said, the 3DSs that I mentioned earlier would be super cool. I think the accessories for Nintendo, like the controllers, the GameCube controllers, like any of like Pokemon themed related items that you can get a hold of, I think would be super sick.
yeah. Me and collabs, just like with anything, I'm like a whore for it. I'm all for it. It's definitely like a marketing thing, and I'm 100% like buying it.
Hmm.
So for me with Pokemon, it's always like not just Pokemon, but just collabs in general with like different stuff. So like the DSs that you brought up, even though it's like a Nintendo thing, but like still, it's like a limited edition kind of thing.
Yeah.
Those are always like super sick. Um, I may or may not be going to a concert pretty soon that is Pokemon related, which we may or may not talk about once I come back from that. But that's something that like I would have never thought would happen. Um, but we'll talk about that once it happens. Um, outside of Pokemon, like outside of like the different collabs and stuff, um, I think it's the same thing. I think it's just TCG. That's just like collecting. I don't play the actual TCG, but collecting. I when Scarlet and Violet dropped, like that start of the TCG, I wanted to do the master sets for every single one,
Yeah.
but it's way too hard. Like if you do not pull like the big cards,
It's expensive,
you're
yeah.
breaking the bank for that shit. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it ain't for me. Let me just collect the cards that I think look cool, and we'll go from there. I haven't collected, well, I haven't ripped in quite a while. I think the last set that I ripped was Destined Rivals, and the JP one, like the actual Destined Rivals, because I got the Team Rocket, the briefcase one
Yeah.
from Japan. And that was the last one that I got. I pulled the Mewtwo out of that one, So I'm cool with that. Uh, but I think that would be like the only thing. I do like the niche. Like I would love a remake for Pokemon Pinball, even though there's probably a lot of people out there that are like, "What are you talking about?" They definitely made a pinball game for Pokemon, and that shit was sick. I think it was Gen 3 um, themed, and I loved it. That, and then I would love a new mystery dungeon, please.
Yeah, Mystery Dungeon is fun.
Yeah, mystery dungeon was a good one. Um, yeah, aside from that, I'm not like I don't really follow the anime. Just when I was a kid, the OG.
Yeah, the Kanto
But
region ones. Yeah,
yeah,
I
I've
think.
heard good things about the new one though.
Yeah, Journeys I have not finished. I don't have a lot of the modern ones finished. Obviously, like I mentioned, Sun and Moon. I watched that one all the way through. I think if you're gonna watch like any of them, like if you might as well just watch one of them. I think the X and Y one is the best one. I mean, Ash Green Ninja is just so iconic, and
Yeah,
that particular show was like midline, like not enough to be like an adult show, but not enough to be a kid show either. It was just right on the line of like this is kind of like for teenagers. Like this
yeah,
specific Pokemon resonates with like older crowd. It was like to most people the most competitive version of Ash that we've seen, especially with like him being able to go into like Ash Green Ninja mode instead of Mega Evolving. It was just so like unique to see like the training arc and the build up to him finally getting to like the championship league and barely losing. It was just like super unique that concept, and his team was like super underrated. And I feel like for once, besides Journeys and besides Sun and Moon, that team specifically is the only team that I can remember where like all the characters got spotlight. Because some of the animes, like some of the characters just don't get spotlight at all. Like some of the mons
yeah.
are
It's like
just like
one
you just
episode and
forget
they're
that Ash
gone.
even has that Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I feel like those are that. But now that you mentioned like outside of the games, I didn't think about mentioning like non-mainstream games. I feel like if I like something outside of like the base like turn-based Pokemon games, I really really was a fan of Pokemon Unite, which was like the mobile version of Pokemon.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I superly heavily fuck with that game. I also fucked with Pokemon Tournament, which was like the arena-based fighting one. I feel like that one will be kind of hard to ever get back into because the player base is like kind of like gone. But the MOBA is still very much played. I actually ended up hinting for a Twitch stream coming up. I ended up picking up a new capture card for my PC so I can actually stream me playing ZA and or Pokemon Unite when
Hell
I'm not
yeah.
streaming Deadlock. I've been streaming Deadlock a lot lately, so but because Deadlock is so fun and I'm getting into MOBAs, it is making me want to play other MOBAs, including Unite. I've always liked Unite. It's just hard to like pick up that game and play off stream. Well, not play off stream, but it's hard to pick up and play alone. But like now that I have a PC and I can have multiple monitors set up and shit like that, it's more accessible for me to sit in Discord with my homies and chill and play that game on stream and or by myself with the capture card through my PC. So I think those games outside of the main games would definitely be up there. Unite is so fun. I think the MOBA is super different in a way. It's not like so plain, or not so plain, but like so. It's not the same as like League or Smite or something. It's kind of its own thing too, just like Deadlock. So it's a unique game.
Yeah, yeah. I played it. I think for like 2 weeks, like the first 2 weeks that it came out, and I feel like I got Mickey to play it at least like a couple of times. I liked it. It's definitely a much more because I get what you're saying with like comparing it to League. It's much more simplified. I've never played League, but I played Smite, and there's so much shit in Smite that it's like super overwhelming. But
Yeah,
like if you haven't played Pokemon Unite, I from what I remember, it's like three moves and then one or two items, and that's it. Very simple, real easy to like get into and like get your main.
yeah. I like theirs is less. Like I said, I think that's simple because it's less item based. I don't. It's not like you're not building full builds. The only thing you're changing in that game, instead of like building into items, you build into like moves. So like when you play like, for instance, like let's just say you play like Charizard, I think. or let's just say, yeah, no, I think, let's just say you play Charizard, you can get like
Yeah.
either like Fire Blast or Flamethrower, which is like two different, fire moves, and you can build into either or of the moves. You get three moves at the end of the game, like you said. You get an ultimate
Yeah.
and two moves from a choice of technically four, because each time you go to pick a move, you get one or the other that you want to pick in that item. Either your L1 will be one of two moves you choose, and then your R1 will be another two different moves that are fire type moves that you can choose. And then the items are way more simplified, and a lot of the items in that game tie to like traditional Pokemon. Like Focus Band gives you plus
Yeah.
attack.
Yeah.
Like the medicine bottles, like they sprays, they give you what they do in the game: extra HP, regain HP. Like it's still the items that you use them the same way in Pokemon, just in mobile form. Like Focus Band is only gonna activate just like the Pokemon game every so often. It's so easy to understand because it's like an inner looped item. I'm glad they didn't make like new items for that game. They kind of grabbed
Yeah.
items from the Pokemon world and made them items in a MOBA, and it just stands out perfect, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it was super fun when I did play it. But like you said, it's definitely probably one of those where like you kind of need a group, especially if you want to get like actually sweaty with.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to put this like niche on it. It's definitely way easier than other MOBAs. Like if you play League, you play Smite, you play Deadlock, any advanced MOBA, when you play that game, I hate to say it, but it's like it'll be really easy. You'd probably hit the highest rank like very easily. But like you said, I think when you get to the highest rank in that game, then it becomes like a party would be better, because then when you're at the highest of the highest, then it doesn't matter what game it is. When you're playing at the highest of highest in any game, it's just hard regardless of the game.
Yeah,
But it's easier.
for sure.
It's easier game to transition into. It's kind of like the Overwatch community playing Marvel Rivals in that sense, like, or like the CS:GO
Yeah.
playing Valorant. Like it's just easy for them to translate, but it's not like you know, it's not as simple, but it's simple at the same time.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
But yeah, I think we can go ahead and wrap it up. We've been yapping for a while. We really wanted to talk about the Pokemon stuff from the 30th anniversary coming up. We still haven't got an announcement for the cards yet. We only got announced for the games, but that makes sense because the games always come first. And if people don't realize that like the cards go off the games era, especially like Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, the sets and the themes kind of go off the game. I think these next set coming up for the 30th year anniversary and the one after 30th year anniversary, I think is kind of like an up in the air, because like, are we gonna get another form of tag teams? Maybe are we gonna get V's brought back or something? Is something gonna get rebrought out? I mean, we haven't really got nothing to go off of, so we got like remakes. I mean, we just got the Black and White remake. We just got Megas. I mean, but that's also because that era is tied to this, video game. So I think
Yeah.
once we get more information on Wind and Wave, is kind of whatever gen and whatever Pokemon and whatever feature they're gonna have in that game, that's the direction we're gonna go in. Like if we're gonna get Gigantamaxes or VMAXes back, maybe we'll have those cards come back instead of EXs. Or like it'll be like now, like since Black and White Pokemon and Megas are back, like those are the kind of cards we're getting now. So I think we need more information on Wind and Wave to see where the cards are going. But for sure, 30th year anniversary is just going to be a re-release of the most popular cards in the last 30 years, which I definitely think that tag teams will be in those. I just think it would be kind of crazy for tag teams not to be reprinted with celebration stamps, just because that set specifically right now, all the SIRs and the hidden arts or the alternate arts are booming. Like none of those cards are lower than like
Yeah.
$400 or $500. Like all of them are expensive.
Yeah. And I completely was like not into that era. So, or I wasn't into the TCG during that era. So I missed out on a lot. There's a lot of good art that came out of the tag team.
Yeah. Specifically, I don't know if you can think of one on the top of your head. For me, at least, I have actually a chase card in that for a set that I'm trying to collect of a certain Pokemon. I'm kind of doing this thing where I collect like obviously I collect all my favorite Pokemon like Lucario, Gardevoir. I collect all their cards, but there's also at the back of that binder, since I'm not doing like a traditional set, like I'm not collecting like one of just all of a certain set. Like I'm not doing all of Black and White, or like all of not Black and White, but like not all of like Furious Fist, or not all of the new one like Destined Rivals. I'm not doing a master set. I'm doing more of like my own type of themes. I'm doing a page for other Pokemon that aren't my favorite Pokemon, but a page of like all bangers, at least like the whole one page of it. And there's a specific Raichu that I want that's an alt art, which is my personal chase for the alt arts, and it's Raichu and the Alolan Raichu, like they're running through like the beach on like the sand. I'll put a picture of the alt art in the pod, but that card specifically is my ultimate chase for a tag team alt art. Besides everyone's easy answer, Lovebirds, but I feel like unless I'm a billionaire, I'm not getting that card anytime soon. So I
Yeah,
just don't
I don't
got
really have a specific, but
racks to throw around to get that card.
no, yeah, some of these cards are insane in price. I mean, I have the Pikachu promo for the stamp box, um, and that's like insane.
Hmm.
Just like raw, not even graded.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yep, but I think that'll do it for the podcast. We're happy for you guys joining us. Shout out to Shinobi for coming up with this idea, and we kind of pivoted on this episode last minute, but it was a great episode that he came up with. We're both huge fans of Pokemon, so it was cool to change it up. Like I said, we're trying to add more diverse things when it comes to like media culture like this, music, gaming, interviews, things like that. If you guys are someone who is interested in being on the podcast that is our friend or a friend of one of ours, make sure to DM one of us. Or even if you're, completely new and you want to maybe try to get on the pod and do an episode, let us know. If you guys have watched this far and you guys want to participate in some of the things we did, maybe in the comments below, maybe answer what your favorite Pokemon is, your favorite gen, and your favorite legendary trio or duo, like he said in the comments, and we'll go ahead and reply and debate our nonsense in the comments. Other than that, make sure you guys check out my latest video. I ended up dropping a Deadlock stream highlight video. If you guys want to check that on the channel, I'm gonna let Shinobi do his shout out, describe anything that he wants you guys to check out that's coming out new for him, and then we'll go ahead and end the pod.
Yeah, I mean, nothing soon, but to come for sure. So, if you're into long form LPs, that kind of thing, go on over to the channel. It'll be soon. I promise. This time I actually promise. Don't look at how old the post was when I said that there was something coming soon. Just forget that ever happened. But just subscribe. Appreciate y'all tuning in. If you like these kinds of long form podcasts of just talking about whatever, just chilling with a homie, chopping it up, sub up, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, it has been the Overnight Cast. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.